Robyn Brown's eldest daughters are speaking out about feeling shunned by their family and sister wives, claiming that family members directly told them they weren't accepted by the family. In a confessional on the Sunday, September 22nd episode of Sister Wives, Robyn and Kody Brown's daughters Aurora and Breanna discussed what family members had said to them that made them want to avoid each other. My mom's kids and I have each had our own experiences being told directly. I have been told directly, in multiple circumstances by multiple different people, that I was not accepted, Aurora said. That I was not their sister. That they didn't consider or see me that way. Breanna then added that the parents should take some of the blame. The parents could have done a better job with, connecting us as a family. It never really happened, she stated. Related, Kody Brown says he's tired of the gossip mill of our broken family. Exclusive, Sister Wives Christine Brown, Kody's ex-wife, provided some background information on the beginning of this split in her own confessional. A little over a year ago, there was a text message chain about the Christmas gift exchange. It all went bad. It all went south, she said. Kody and Robyn and their kids were on one side, and they wanted nothing to do with Janelle, me, our kids. And there was a split that happened after this text thread. Then, in a confessional, Robyn recalled how her children had responded to the text chain. My older children all agreed that this was emotionally risky. All we have to do is take a step back. All we have to do is set a barrier here, she remarked. But it was never about, we don't want to see you again, Robyn went on. Hey, this got yucky. We don't want anything to do with you. Returning to the scene, Christine spoke with Janelle, another of Kody's ex-wives, about the incident. I thought I was welcoming, Christine said after acknowledging that Robyn's children felt unwelcome. In a confessional, Kody also responded to his daughter's assertions and touched on some of the feelings they experience as strangers. He said, I'm going to move forward and find happiness and joy outside of my club because it was my club and I got kicked out of it. There are some people in my family that feel like they're superior to others and they're like, oh well, we're not going to include them in our club, he said. Sundays at 10 p.m. are when Sister Wives airs. E.T. on TLC. But in a shocking book tease, Sister Wives star Christine Brown Woolley refers to her ex-boyfriend Kody Brown as the most dramatic of them all. In February, Christine Brown revealed that she would be releasing her explosive memoir, Sister Wife, a memoir of faith, family, and finding freedom, through Gallery Books in September of this year. According to Parade, Brown used Instagram as the date draws closer to engage with her followers and discuss the book's themes in greater detail. By playing a game where her followers could select any page number and she read a few phrases from it in return, she made the light reading engaging. I used to tease Kody about the name of the show, Sister Wives. It's not Kody and the Sister Wives, she read from one of the pages, labeling the Brown family patriarch dramatic and self-absorbed, he'd say, but it's really about me. He was right to some extent. She added, he'd say he was the most dynamic of all of us. I would agree that he was the most dramatic of us. Christine's sneak peek about Kody's behavior comes at a time when the reality show is on a state of hiatus. After filming for 20 seasons, it came to an end on TLC in June 2025. However, her breadcrumbs are nothing new since the audience has already witnessed Kody's self-pity and victim narrative on screen to gain attention throughout the seasons. Sister Wives Season 19 trailer showcased Kody blaming his wives for his miserable life. They have all betrayed me. I am out of my mind. Don't blame me for not loving you. I was doing my duty, the polygamist said during an episode confessional while arguing about his marriage status with Mary E. News reported. Blame yourself if I don't love you, okay? He continued. When I'm in love with a woman, that's her fault. So, what happens when I'm not in love with a woman? Is that just my fault? If I'm mad about a woman, want to serve her, passionate, want to rub her feet, want to carry in her groceries, if I want to buy her jewelry, if I want her to feel special all the time, if I'm in love with a woman, I think that's her fault. Christine was the first to walk out of the polygamous setting in 2021. She had vehemently accused her ex of manipulation and mind games during their separation. Christine's book is also expected to expose her exit from the Apostolic United Brethren, a fundamentalist Mormon group that practices polygamy, as per People. It is gritty and honest as I tell my story, living polygamy as a child, to my marriage and family life, she wrote on Instagram. It shows my heartache with leaving religion, she added in the lengthy post. Fans are eager to learn the more sinister details of Christine's last marriage as she begins promoting her next book. As a woman who watched, no, it wasn't about him, he was married. It was about the wives and how they were doing. We care about how you're doing, an Instagram user replied. I already ordered my book over a month ago on Amazon, and I can't wait to read it, a fan wrote. One netizen commented, I'm thrilled for you and can't wait to read your book. But it was meant to be a lovely, customary day. As guests started to arrive at the wedding location, a quaint barn nestled close to the mountains and decked up in white lace and wildflowers, the sun was blazing over the Utah Valley. The family was extremely proud of Brielle Brown's wedding. Brielle is the youngest daughter of Janelle and Kody Brown. Among the Brown kids, Brielle had always been referred to as the modern rebel. Brielle went to an out-of-state college, questioned the framework of multiple marriage, and, most controversially, chose to marry outside the Mormon faith, in contrast to her more conservative older siblings. Ethan Wallace, her fiancé, had no religious affiliation. Although his family followed rather different customs, he was considerate of Brielle's heritage. The pair decided to combine their two worlds when it came to wedding planning. Music, dancing, a public first kiss, and yes, an open bar were all part of that. The family responds the sister wives' family descended into pandemonium when news got out that alcohol would be served at the wedding, which is absolutely prohibited in Mormon culture. It was Mary who spoke first. I don't care if this is what she wants. We have a standard to uphold. This wedding represents our family. Christine, who was invited to be the mother of some of Brielle's half-siblings despite being divorced from Kody, laughed. Give the girl life. She is no longer a member of the church. We are not in charge of everything. During a family meal, Robyn, who was clearly uncomfortable, leaned over to Kody and muttered, How will this look on TV? You are aware that there will be cameras present. Kody rubbed his temples and moaned. Today is Brielle's day. We have two options. We can help her or we can lose her. Sparkling cider and champagne were served to the guests as the sun set behind the mountains. In the corner was a fully stocked bar that served everything from whiskey on the rocks to mojitos. Robyn wouldn't approach it. Mary continued to look at the bartender disapprovingly. Janelle made an effort to maintain harmony while grinning awkwardly while Ethan's side of the family drank copiously. The Brown children were divided. Some, like Leon and Isabel, looked unsure of how to respond, while others, like Maddie and Garrison, dismissed it with the remark, It's not our wedding. But Christine took everyone by surprise. With a broad smile, she ordered a mocktail from the bar while laughing with Ethan's cousins. You see? She chuckled. I can still have a drink without losing my soul. When Mary noticed Robyn's daughter Aurora standing close to the bar, laughing with one of Ethan's pals who was holding a beer, the situation took a drastic turn. She strode over and drew Aurora away. Mary yelled, You have no right to be here. You know better than to hang around with drunks. Flustered, Aurora answered, Mom, I wasn't drinking. I was merely conversing. There was a bustle at the moment. Robyn followed with tears in her eyes, but Kody had to step in and pull Mary away. Later, Ethan became aware of the uneasy tension in the room as he was making his toast. Lifting his glass, he uttered, I am aware that not everyone is in agreement with our plans for today. However, love, acceptance, and fresh starts are things that Brielle and I believe in. The purpose of this wedding is to choose one another, not to follow convention. There was a burst of applause. A few of Kody's spouses gave a tentative clap, while others did it with genuineness. The wedding came to a lovely conclusion. The attendees laughed, danced, and some, like Logan and Michael, even snuck a cocktail. However, the drama persisted. Later, during a confessional that was recorded for the program, Janelle stated, Watching everyone fight was difficult. However, I'm pleased with Brielle. She remained authentic. Isn't it what we've taught our children all along? Today we lost something. What type of example we are establishing now is unclear to me. During her piece, Christine smiled. Really? I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Kody's face conveyed the story of a man divided between his numerous wives, his various beliefs, and his numerous children who had strayed from the same road. With a glass of water in hand and a puzzled expression on his face, Kody watched from a distance as Brielle and Ethan danced under fairy lights as the episode came to a conclusion. But every child seemed to contribute their own special light to the busy Brown home, where love and chaos frequently coexisted. However, Mykelti, the free-spirited daughter of Kody and Christine, was always noticeable for something a little more enigmatic than her strong ideas and artistic flair, her moniker, George.
Indeed, George.
Friends, cousins, and even some sister wives themselves were perplexed by it. Why would someone nickname a young child named Mykelti George? Was I wrong? An internal joke about the family? Or something more significant? Let's travel through time. In their Lehigh house, Christine sat in the living room amid the commotion of a dozen kids, laundry, and sippy cups. Despite the turmoil of polygamy, she liked being a mother, and she was smiling despite her exhaustion. That day, Mykelti, who was just 3 years old, was abnormally silent. She had been observing her father, Kody, while he fixed the family's old vacuum. With tools all over the place and oil on his shirt, Kody let out a frustrated grunt as Mykelti stood motionless and imitated everything he did. Mykelti wiped his own perspiration from his forehead each time Kody did. She scratched her head like he did. Mykelti's eyes brightened when he said, "Let's see if this thing'll work, George."
George,
she muttered. She started referring to herself as George whenever she played pretend after that day. When Christine first heard it, she laughed. "Hey honey, who's George?" "My name is George. I'm like daddy at fixing things." George took on a life of its own after that. Fixing things became Mykelti's obsession. George was on top of everything that was broken, including broken dolls, old toasters, and even the TV remote. In the family, the moniker came to represent Mykelti's resolute, daring side. When she was in her tinkering mood, even her siblings began referring to her as George. For Janelle, it was hilarious. "This girl will outfix all the boys, I promise you." George is skilled. Mary arched one eyebrow and said, "Isn't the fact that George is a boy's name bothering her?" "Not at all," Christine confidently said. "It's only Mykelti. She liked to go about things her own way." The development of George, Mykelti's passion of fashion, drama, and business took the place of the moniker as she grew older. However, the George inside of her never quite went away. She still enjoyed solving problems. Her can-do attitude remained. She continued to fix relationships as well as electronics. When Robyn assisted in mediating a contentious dispute between Kody and some of the wives at a family therapy session years later, she laughed afterwards and remarked, "Look who's still George then." Repairing the irreparable. In a TLC Sister Wives interview, the producer at last posed the query that fans had been clamoring for. "All right, Mykelti, we must inquire. Why George? What is the origin of that moniker?" Mykelti grinned, her eyes glimmering. "When I was younger, I believed that the name George was given to strong people. When would you be able to fix anything? I aspired to be George. I became George as a result. To be honest, a piece of me still is." Kody, who was sitting next to her, chuckled. "At 3, she was a better handyman than I was at 30. Why, then, did Mykelti go by George as a child?" Because little Mykelti wanted a name that represented something different, something strong, decisive, and bold, in a household full of ladies with names like Christine, Robyn, Mary, and Janelle. And she made George unforgettable in her own unique, lovely way.
But
tensions in the Brown home are at an all-time high as episode 9 opens. Mary attempts to reinterpret her place in the family while Robyn clings to the hope of unity, with Christine already gone and Janelle taking on a more independent role. Meanwhile, Kody is torn between pride, loyalty, and the eroding idea of polygamy he once held dear. A surprising revelation, a covert meeting, and an unexpected visit threaten to upend everything. The episode begins on a gloomy Flagstaff morning. Robyn and Kody are having a tense breakfast at Robyn's house while the rain patters quietly on the glass. Despite his refusal to acknowledge it, Robyn believes Kody is still emotionally connected to Christine because of his increasing distancing from her. As she examines her tea, she murmurs, "I didn't marry a ghost."
Christine should be gone if she is.
However, it seems as though she is still present. Within your heart, Kody stays silent. He looks at his coffee cup as if it had the answers he's been looking for. A buzzing phone interrupts his thoughts. Janelle is calling. Cut to Janelle's RV, where her life is anything but tranquil despite the serene mountain scenery captured by the camera. Since the breakup, she's been doing everything by herself, both financially and emotionally. The call was about a planned family gathering, so it wasn't a casual conversation. One that involves all of the women, not just Kody. Janelle says, "I want to talk. It's time to assess our collective position. And for real, not with cameras in our faces." Mary, meantime, is at her bed and breakfast in Utah. She's been visiting more frequently and staying a little longer each time. She discloses something significant to a pal during their meeting. "I've submitted the documentation," she declares. "Officially, it's my company. It's none of our business."
Mine.
The friend seemed astonished. "You're breaking away, are you?" "I'm not sure," Mary acknowledges. "But I'm tired of waiting for someone to respect me the way I deserve to be treated." Christine and Janelle have a covert rendezvous off-camera as tensions rise. 2 towns over, they converse openly in a welcoming cafe without worrying about being judged. "Janelle, you did everything right," Christine remarks. "However, he didn't see you. Not in the manner you required." Janelle lets out a sigh. "Christine, he never saw any of us. Just the version of us that gave him a sense of strength." After a brief moment of silence, Christine reveals that she intends to apply for full custody of Truly. He hardly ever calls her. "I will not allow her to grow up believing that to be love." Robyn confronts Kody after learning about the covert rendezvous from one of the kids. "You were aware?" Her voice trembles as she asks, "You didn't inform me that you allowed them to meet?" Kody yells, "It's none of your business. They are now free ladies. As you've always wished to be." Robyn starts crying. "I didn't desire freedom. Being a family was what I desired." In last, the family gathering takes place in Janelle's leased cabin. Everyone arrives, Kody with a storm cloud on his face, Mary silently, and Robyn reluctantly. Despite her absence, Christine's vitality is evident in the space. Janelle is a clear leader. "I'd rather not fight. I'm looking for the truth." "Where are we now?" For the first time in years, Mary interrupts Robyn as she attempts to speak. "I refuse to remain in a marriage in which I am invisible. Outside of this pandemonium, I have a life. And at last, I'm going with it." Kody opens his mouth to say something, but Janelle stops him. "Kody, I'm done too. It wasn't us you loved, but the concept of us. I also deserve better." As the episode comes to a close, Kody is sitting on the porch in the dark while the rain pours down around him. The women he built his life with have left him one by one. Now all he has is regret, stillness, and Robyn, looking out the window with a terrified heart. Next time on Sister Wives, Robyn must confront a harsh reality. Christine throws a bombshell regarding custody, and Kody must confront a terrifying question. What if love was never enough?
But
the air felt thick with the weight of recent family disputes on this cold Flagstaff morning. In recent years, the Brown family had seen a lot of ups and downs, including the dissolution of marriages, serious miscommunications, and the gradual disintegration of what had seemed to be a solid polygamous relationship. Today, however, was different. Months after she and Kody parted ways, Christine was coming back to Flagstaff for a single day.
why?
Janelle herself formed a family support group. Janelle had witnessed it all: the sister wives' increasing estrangement from one another, financial strain, and emotional alienation. She was aware that something needed to be done. Following one-on-one conversations with Mary, Christine, and even Robyn, she put forth a proposal that was previously unimaginable. Come together, let's. No cameras. No, Kody. Only us. To everyone's surprise, they all agreed. Away from the bustle of the city and out of sight of inquisitive neighbors, they met at an Airbnb cabin tucked away in the pines. Janelle made a modest lunch of soup, salad, and baked bread as a fire roared inside. First to arrive was Christine, who had a determined yet anxious look on her face. She said to Janelle, "I'm not sure what to anticipate. But the reason I'm here is that I used to love this family unconditionally." Mary entered next. Although she had a serene countenance, years of mental trauma were seen in her eyes. She nodded courteously at Christine. Then Robyn appeared, tentative and quiet. It was made more difficult by the fact that she was the only one who was still legally married to Kody. However, Janelle said as she stood between them with her arms outstretched, "It's not about him today. We are the focus of today." With warm teacups in their hands and cozy blankets wrapped around them, they sat in a circle in the living room. There was silence for the first few minutes. The burden of all that was unsaid was heavy.
Mary shattered it at last.
Her voice cracked as she remarked, "I don't think we ever really supported each other the way we should have. We were too afraid to speak our truth because we were too focused on Kody." Christine cast her gaze downward. "I spent a lot of time feeling very alone. However, I had no idea how to beg for assistance without coming out as someone who was destroying everything." Robyn dabbed at a tear. "Even when Kody and I grew close, I always felt alienated. I had no idea how to adjust the distance. I apologize if I caused you more suffering." Janelle gave a nod. "Everyone made errors. But we also went through a lot. It's time, in my opinion, to cease bearing the burden alone." The women talked about their recollections for the next few hours, some happy, some terrible. The old holiday stories made them laugh. When they felt unheard, disregarded, or envious, they opened up. Together, they wept, but not out of weakness, but rather as a release. Christine took out a photo album she had packed. "Do you recall this camping trip?" she questioned, displaying a photo of all the children splattered in muck. Although it was a tiny step, it had great impact. The women went outside together and stood in the golden glow as the sun started to drop. Mary stated, "This does not imply that we will be best friends." Christine continued, "But it means we can respect each other as women who went through something unique and difficult." Janelle grinned. "It implies that we can help one another."
At last.
Robyn concurred as well. Perhaps sisterhood was always intended to be like this. They did not take the group shot for TV or social media, only for themselves. Christine invited Janelle and Mary to come see her in Utah a few weeks later. Robyn sent each person a handcrafted present. And for the first time in years, the sister wives were women reestablishing a connection that was exclusively their own, not just co-wives of one man. Welcome to my channel, dear viewers. My name is Sabrina, and I hope you're having a great day. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the video.